Welcome to the Watches TV. I am here with Charris Yadogarpglou, Head of Communication of the M.A.D. Gallery and MB&F, to speak about a very special sculpture which gives time. Actually, it uses light and ice. So how does it work?
Well, it's a Nixie machine, as we call it. It's a Nixie machine. In that sense, it's built around Nixie tubes. Nixie tubes are the ancestors, if you like, of the digital displays we know today. So before screens, before LEDs, we had Nixie tubes, these special 90mm tubes.
So how is it possible that we find today this Nixie tube on this machine? And what is this machine also?
Very good question. Nixie tubes no longer exist today. They were produced in the 1950s, 60s, and then they were totally replaced with other technology. Alberto Schileo, he's a fan of Nixie tubes. And about a year and a half ago, he discovered, a bit by chance, that there was a stock of 150, 200 tubes of East German, Communist Germany origin, built in the 1950s, 1960s. That stock, get this, had been forgotten for about 60 years in a Bulgarian military depot.
What happened afterwards? Because you work with an artist that you know very well here at the gallery.
Exactly. Alberto discovers these 150, 200 tubes, goes crazy, of course, because he knows it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. At the same time, he doesn't really know what to do with them, right? He knows us, he knows Max, he knows MB&F, he knows the gallery, and he knows one of the artists. He's seen his work at the gallery here, Franck Buchwald. So all that comes together, and he thinks, wouldn't it be nice to create a Nixie clock? But unlike most of the Nixie clocks on the market today, which are relatively cheap, let's say, he wants to make a very special one, a very artistic one. So he calls Max up and says, listen, I have these tubes. I thought of you guys, I thought of Franck Buchwald. Wouldn't it be nice to create a very exceptional series of clocks? And you know Max, right away he says, absolutely, let's do it. Actually, the first thing we did was check with Franck Buchwald first if he would like the project. Fortunately, he loved it right away. So when Max called him up to say, we have this crazy idea, absolutely. It's a clock. He's never done a clock, but at the same time, these are like bulbs, almost like tubes. So it's quite close to his machine lights, the lamps he's been working on for so many years. He works by hand, so he works with a raw material, mainly steel, as you say, some brass also, and piece by piece, component by component, he creates everything in his workshop in Berlin. For this case, exactly as you said, we needed the help of an electrician. There are, for each of these tubes, 10 or 20 wires coming out of each tube, going down to the mother circuit, which pilots the whole thing. So it is a combination of 1950s, 1960s high-tech with the artisanship of Franck Buchwald into this Nixie machine which we see today. You also see the date right here for a few seconds, 4th of February, and now it goes back to the time. And every so often there's this random scrolling. That's to protect and to prolong the life of the bulbs. Each of the numbers you see here is on a separate electrode. And what's happening when those numbers light up is, in fact, you're sending electrical discharges through those electrodes, and that's lighting up the neon gas in the tube. Now, some of the numbers don't move so much. If you look at the hours here, of course, they go through 1, 0, 1, 2, and that's it for the first digit. Every so often, you need to light up all the electrodes to get rid of any deposits on the electrodes. If you don't do that, the electrodes get a deposit, and that's not very good for the lifetime of the bulb. So every 5 minutes or so, random scrolling, every minute the date, and there are other functions which you can program as well.
Thank you very much, Charris. Bye, ciao, take care.